You ever notice how life has a way of giving back exactly what you put into it? What you focus on, what you feed your mind, what you allow to take up space in your thoughts. It shapes your reality. If you wake up every morning thinking about what's missing, what's going wrong, how unfair life is, then guess what? That's exactly what you're going to see more of. Not because life is against you, but because that's the lens you're looking through. Think about it. You ever meet someone who's always negative? No matter what happens, they find something to complain about. They could get a promotion at work, but they'll say it just means more responsibility. They could receive a blessing, but they'll focus on how it could have been bigger, better, or different. And what happens? They stay stuck. They never grow. Not because life isn't giving them opportunities, but because they refuse to see them. Now flip that. You ever meet someone who just seems to attract success? Someone who finds joy even in the little things? It's not that their life is perfect. It's not that they don't have struggles, but they've trained themselves to focus on what's good, and because of that, they move differently. They see solutions instead of problems. They take action instead of making excuses. See, the mind is powerful. It's like a camera lens. Whatever you zoom in on, that's what becomes your picture. If you zoom in on the negatives, that's all you'll ever see. But if you shift that focus, if you start looking for what's right instead of what's wrong, your whole world changes. It's not about ignoring reality. It's not about pretending struggles don't exist. It's about choosing where to put your energy, because energy is everything. What you give your time and attention to, that's what grows. If you focus on your blessings, if you wake up with a grateful heart, if you make a decision to see the good, you'll start noticing more of it. And when that happens, doors open. Your confidence. Most people go through life focused on what they don't have, always looking at what's missing, what they lack, what someone else has that they don't. They measure themselves against others, thinking, if only I had more money, more time, more connections, then I'd be happy. But that's a losing game, because no matter how much you get, there's always going to be something more. That kind of thinking keeps you in a cycle of frustration, never satisfied, always feeling like you're coming up short. But what happens when you flip that? What happens when you stop looking at what's missing and start focusing on what's already there? When you stop chasing something outside of yourself and start appreciating what you already have? See, that's the shift. That's when everything changes. Because gratitude takes you from a place of lack to a place of abundance. It opens your eyes to the opportunities, the blessings, the moments that you've been overlooking. And when you start to see that, you start to move differently. Think about a time when you were struggling, when things weren't going the way you wanted. Maybe you were broke. Maybe you felt like life was unfair. But even in those moments, even when it felt like you had nothing, if you really think about it, there was something to be grateful for. Maybe it was your health. Maybe it was a friend who supported you. Maybe it was just the fact that you had another day, another chance. And if you held on to that, if you focused on that instead of what was missing, it gave you the strength to push forward. That's the power of gratitude. It shifts your mindset. It takes you from feeling like a victim to realizing you're blessed. And when you feel blessed, you start acting like it. You stop waiting for life to give you something and start making the most of what's already in front of you. And that's when things start falling into place. You ever notice how people who complain about not having enough money always stay broke? It's not because they don't work hard. It's because they're so focused on what they don't have that they never see the opportunities around them. But people who are grateful, they find ways to grow, to build, to create. Because they're not operating from a mindset of scarcity. They're operating from a mindset of abundance. And that's the difference. That's what sets people apart. It's not about what's in your bank account, what car you drive, what job you have. It's about your mindset. Gratitude isn't just about saying, thank you. It's about seeing the world differently. It's about understanding that you already have more than enough to start moving forward. And when you truly believe that, nothing can hold you back. Most people go through life waiting for something big to happen before they allow themselves to feel good. They think, when I get that promotion, then I'll be happy. When I find the right person, then I'll feel complete. When I have more money, more success, more recognition, then I'll start enjoying life. But here's the problem. If you're always waiting for something out there to change how you feel in here, you'll never get there, because the goalpost keeps moving. The moment you get what you thought you needed, something else takes its place, and you're back to feeling like you're not enough, like you're still missing something. But there's a way out of that cycle, a way to start feeling fulfilled right now, without waiting for your circumstances to change, and that's gratitude. See, gratitude isn't just about saying, thank you, when something good happens. It's a way of seeing the world, a way of shifting your focus from what's missing to what's already there. And when you do that, when you make gratitude a daily practice, everything changes. Imagine waking up every morning and, before you even get out of bed, taking a moment to appreciate what you already have. The fact that you have another day. The fact that you can breathe, move, think, create. That there are people in your life who care about you. That you have opportunities in front of you, even if they're not exactly what you want yet. What would happen if you started your day with that kind of mindset instead of immediately thinking about what's wrong, what's missing, what's frustrating? You'd move differently. You'd start seeing possibilities instead of problems. You'd have more energy, more motivation, because you'd be operating from a place of abundance instead of lack. And when you move from abundance, you attract more of it. You open doors, you make connections, you take action. Not from a place of desperation, but from a place of confidence, from a deep understanding that you already have everything you need to take the next step. Now, some people might hear that and say, "But my life is hard, I don't have what I need, I'm struggling." And that's real, but even in struggle, there is something to be grateful for. Even in the hardest moments, there is something that can keep you going, if you choose to see it. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your problems. It means refusing to let them control your mindset. It means choosing to focus on what strengthens you instead of what drains you. And when you do that, when you train yourself to find the good in every situation, you become unstoppable. You stop being held back by fear, by doubt, by excuses. You stop waiting for life to give you a reason to be happy and start creating it for yourself. And that's when everything starts to shift. Not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because you become stronger. People spend so much time chasing happiness, thinking it's something they have to find out there in the world. They think if they get the right job, the right relationship, the right amount of money, then they'll finally feel satisfied. But the truth is, happiness doesn't come from the outside, it starts inside. It's not something you find, it's something you create. And the most powerful way to create it is through gratitude. Gratitude shifts your entire perspective. It takes you from thinking about what you lack to appreciating what you have, from seeing obstacles to seeing opportunities, from dwelling on problems to recognizing solutions. But here's the thing, gratitude is not automatic. It's not something that just happens. It's a choice, a discipline. You have to train your mind to focus on the good, even when life gets tough. Because let's be real, life will get tough. There will be struggles. There will be moments when it feels like nothing is working out, when it feels like everything is against you. But those are the moments when gratitude is most important. It's easy to be grateful when everything is going well. But what about when things aren't going your way? What about when you're struggling, when you're hurting, when you're dealing with setbacks? That's when gratitude becomes your greatest weapon. That's when it has the power to change your life. Because when you choose to be grateful anyway, you take back control. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the author of your own story. You stop waiting for life to be perfect and start making the most of what you have, right here, right now. It doesn't mean ignoring the hard stuff. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine when it's not. It means deciding that no matter what happens, you're not going to let negativity steal your joy. It means choosing to focus on what's possible instead of what's missing. And when you do that, you find strength you didn't know you had. You find solutions you didn't see before. You find energy, motivation, drive. Because you're no longer weighed down by everything that's wrong. Instead, you're fueled by everything that's right. Think about the most successful people you know, not just in terms of money or fame, but the ones who have real peace, real fulfillment. They have struggles just like everyone else, but what sets them apart is their mindset. They don't waste time complaining about what they don't have. They don't sit around waiting for happiness to show up. They create it. They find the lesson in every failure, the opportunity in every challenge. And that starts with gratitude. Because when you're grateful, you operate from a place of strength. You're not desperate. You're not chasing. You're building. So the question is, what are you focusing on? Are you letting life dictate your happiness? Or are you taking control? Are you spending your days thinking about what's missing, or are you recognizing all the ways you're already blessed? Because the way you answer that question determines everything. It shapes your energy, your decisions, your future. Gratitude isn't just about feeling good, it's about empowerment. It's about waking up every day and deciding to see the good, to build on what you have, to own your life. Because when you do that, there's no limit to what you can create. Most people walk through life waiting for something to change, waiting for circumstances to improve, waiting for the right moment to finally start living the way they want to. But life doesn't wait. Life doesn't put success on a silver platter and hand it to you just because you want it. If you want something, you have to go get it. You have to push yourself every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't showing up yet, even when you feel like giving up. Because here's the truth, nothing worth having comes easy. If it did, everybody would have it. If success were simple, if achieving your goals didn't require sacrifice, discipline, and relentless effort, then the world would be full of people living their dreams. But that's not the case. The people who make it are the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who show up, do the work, and keep pushing forward, no matter how hard it gets. There will be days when you're tired, days when the motivation just isn't there, days when doubt creeps in and you start questioning if you're even on the right path. That's when most people stop. That's when most people let their fears win. But that's exactly when you have to push harder. That's when you have to remind yourself why you started in the first place. Because the difference between the people who succeed and the people who don't isn't talent, it's grit. It's the refusal to settle. It's the decision to keep moving forward, even when everything inside you is screaming to stop. You can't wait for inspiration. You can't wait for the perfect moment, because inspiration fades. Motivation comes and goes. What lasts is discipline. What matters is your ability to show up and do the work, regardless of how you feel. That's what separates the great from the average. That's what turns dreams into reality. You have to train yourself to push through the discomfort, to embrace the struggle, because the struggle is part of the process. The struggle is what makes you stronger. Every setback, every obstacle, every failure, it's not there to stop you, it's there to build you. It's there to teach you, to sharpen you, to prepare you for what's ahead. So instead of running from the hard times, lean into them. Instead of letting them break you, let them make you. The people who win in life aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who struggle and keep going anyway. They're the ones who refuse to let failure define them. They take the hits, they learn the lessons, and they come back stronger. So ask yourself, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to push through the tough days? Are you willing to show up, even when it's hard? Are you willing to outwork everyone else, to give it everything you've got, to refuse to quit until you get where you want to be? Because that's what it takes. That's the price of success. And only you can decide if you're willing to pay it. Most people talk about success like it's some magical destination, some place you'll arrive at if you just keep hoping, keep waiting, keep dreaming. But success doesn't work that way. Success isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you build, brick by brick, with effort, with discipline, with an unshakable commitment to your vision. It's not about luck, it's about preparation. It's about putting in the work when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when nobody believes in you but you. Because here's the truth, success is earned. And the price? The price is effort. The price is long nights, early mornings, missed parties, skipped vacations, and countless sacrifices that most people aren't willing to make. That's why most people don't make it. Because when it gets tough, they look for an easy way out. They look for shortcuts, quick fixes, some way to bypass the process. But there are no shortcuts. There is no easy way. If you want it, you have to be willing to work for it. You have to be willing to grind when it's uncomfortable, to push forward when every part of you is screaming to stop. And that's what separates the winners from the rest. It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's not even opportunity. It's effort. It's that relentless, unwavering, can't be stopped kind of effort that refuses to let failure win. Because failure will come. Setbacks will come. Pain will come. That's inevitable. But what's optional is quitting. What's optional is making excuses, backing down, letting life tell you that you're not good enough. The people who make it, the ones who rise to the top, they don't back down. They don't complain about the struggle. They embrace it. They use it. They let it sharpen them, toughen them, make them stronger. And while everybody else is looking for a way around the hard work, they're running straight through it. They understand that success isn't something you get. It's something you become. It's a mindset, a way of thinking, a way of living that says, I refuse to be average. I refuse to be ordinary. I refuse to let anything stop me. And that kind of effort? That kind of determination? That's what wins. That's what gets results. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. So don't just sit around hoping for success. Go get it. Put in the effort. Do the work. And don't stop until you get what you came for. You've got to understand something. Success isn't reserved for the lucky. It's not handed out to the privileged. And it's not a gift that falls into the laps of the chosen few. Success belongs to those who refuse to quit. To those who decide deep down that nothing, nothing, is going to stand between them and their goals. It's about commitment. It's about resilience. It's about pushing through every setback, every disappointment, every failure, and still standing tall, still moving forward, still believing that what you want is possible. Because it is possible. But here's the thing. Possible doesn't mean easy. Possible doesn't mean instant. Possible doesn't mean guaranteed. It means work. It means sacrifice. It means showing up every day, giving it everything you've got, and refusing to let anything stop you. And that's where most people fall short. They want the success, but they don't want the struggle. They want the reward, but they don't want to pay the price. They want the results, but they aren't willing to push through the pain to get there. But if you really want it, if you're serious about success, you've got to be different. You've got to be willing to do what others won't. You've got to be willing to work when nobody else is watching. To keep moving forward when you feel like you've got nothing left. To believe in yourself when nobody else does. That's the difference. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the willingness to outwork everyone else. So let this be your moment. Let this be the time you decide that enough is enough. No more excuses. No more waiting. No more wishing, hoping, or dreaming without action. You have what it takes. You have the ability. You have the power to change your life. But you've got to start now. You've got to push yourself. You've got to give more than you ever have before. Because success? It's not given, it's earned. And it's waiting for the ones who refuse to settle for anything less.